I guess. Going there. Why does this always do that? Going up there, please. Thank you. Okay. Okay. It is Mesa in the book. Hello. This live thing on here, I've noticed doesn't always calculate correctly. Like, it will say that there's nobody there, but there is, and you know, there's weirdness with it. So I'm just gonna act like there are people here regardless. Just because there is a time thing with this too. So every week, people who are Mesa carriers, and anybody really, like, you're not allowed. Basically, it's a thing for the Mesa carriers, but it's also worldwide prayer time. There's a thing that we're tapping into worldwide, and it starts at 9:30, which is now, and then at 9:45 is the time where the first is performed at precisely 9:45 Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday. So that's what this is. So, like, the 9:30 is the time to get yourself situated and prepared and to create your sacred space and to put out your tools and things like that, depending on if you are carrying your Mesa or not. So if you don't have one, you can tap into the energies and the blessings and do the thing that's going to be done. There's a Pachamama renewal process, and it connects with all the different chakras, and you do different things for each one. Imagine a different color, and then you rotate 360 degrees while you intone or chant one of the names that associate to it. So the video that I shared today is because I got this book last week on the day. It was like an hour before we were supposed to do it when I found out that it was even a thing that happened. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to share the video or not, but I do better when I feel like I'm working for some reason. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm more apt to show up for other people, to teach or to lead or to, share. So I set that up and did that. I shared it today. People can watch that. There's more information in there about what got me there and all of that. But tonight I'm going to be able to show you physically what I'm doing, so that you, because in the video you just hear me like blah, 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 going in circles, but all you can see is the Mesa. So I figured for those who are visual learners, this will help you to learn visually. And let me see, this is live now? Yeah, this is right now. The other one, I didn't know what premiere meant. When you make a video to put onto your channel, they have this option as a premiere, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess so, because I didn't want to publish that one and the other one that I did earlier today. I don't even know what the other one was. What was the other? I published a video earlier, but this was there for 7 days waiting to be published. So I was like, let me just schedule it with the premiere. But I didn't know that meant that it was going to have like a live chat and all of that it did. So yeah, now I know what that does. But this is live right now. This is me in the flesh. I'm putting on some oils, my Palladium Passion. And you are supposed to create like a space, okay, for doing this ceremony or any ceremony. I don't have the traditional like items, So I usually, get creative in what I'm going to do if I don't have something specific. So it says, if possible, consecrate the ground where you're going to set your mesa up in the following manner. Some people would pour a drop or two of clear spirits like white rum, corn, or green alcohol, or Florida water, which I do have Florida water. So you would put that like to the center where your mesa is going to be set up. A lot of times people would do this outside, but it is raining again, so I'm not doing it outside. But I have it in a spray bottle, so I don't have to like put it in my mouth or anything. But consecrating, it's all intention too. So if your intention is there, you're good. And then your intention should be to start in the south, sprinkling clockwise a circle if you wanted to do blue cornmeal or tobacco or whatever it is that you have for that. And it's basically like a offering to Pachamama. So I have thyme and sage that I used last time. And I know the way that this table's set up is kind of not the best way for the south, but again, it's your intention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to face, because that's where the south is. So while I do this, I'm going to make a circle where my mesa is going to go. And then when you do the cross is going to be north to south and then east to west. So if you have something, if you have tobacco, if you have cornmeal, I don't have that stuff like on hand, but if it's natural items, some type of thing that you feel kind of makes up for that, whatever you want to put in there. It says, if it's not practical to consecrate the ground as described above, you can do it energetically with the highest intentions that you have. Like I said, it's all intention. So if you keep your mesa set up in the same place all the time, you won't need to do that process every time, but it is still a good idea to have some sort of blessing or offering to give to Pachamama when you do sacred work. So we open up the mesa. And you place your cuyus, or your, I don't know how to pronounce it, cuyus is the word for your sacred object. So I have sacred objects inside of my mesa, so you would want to place them where they go. So like the feathers go in the direction with the wind, or the north, actually. So, alright, so I'm going to put this like this. So this goes in the north. This is my thing that's supposed to like encompass it, and be like the circle of everybody, connects all. We have the feathers for the north, and then like I did my ancestors in the south, and if you have a mesa, you would probably know better where your items belong. So then we have water for the west and fire for the east. So we do a candle in the east. Where is my shell? I just realized. Oh, I think it's in here. Yeah. So I put a shell over here to represent the water in the womb. We put this down a little so you can see. This thing is hard to get to be correct. All right. I'm gonna. Can you do this? It wants to like. I have this weird thing that does all this craziness, and I just need it to be like a little normal. Alright, take it down. Ah, shit. I'm gonna put you in a different one, I guess. I'll put you over here somewhere. Actually, I'll take, if I can move the base, that would help a lot. There we go. Move the base. Put it in this direction. Put this like this. Oh, God. Hurry up, man. Doesn't fit in there correctly either. Unless I do it from the opposite side. Oh, God. Please, just go ahead. Thank you. Alright. Take you down, take you down, take you down, take you down. And push your back. see better from there. How's that? You can see a little better, I guess. Yeah, alright, so there you go. So the north gets the feathers, the west gets the womb energy, the feminine energy, the shell for the water, okay? And the fire is inti, this is for the masculine energy, okay? So I have masculine shaman balls and penis, is what it looks like to me. That's why I have those as the masculine. And then I have my different stones for different reasons that I kind of just like put in different areas. So you've got like the sky energy, and then I have my thing here for like intuition. It reminds me of the owl. Then I have my pearl, which obviously connects, you know, to the water too. I've got the thing for taking a leap of faith. So like, you know, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So I like, we're gonna take a leap of faith from the east. Then we have the heart energy, and then we have over here mental energy. All right, here we go. And I need to get, oh shit, I don't have a, this thing is, it died on me earlier. I think it will work now. I have this, like, my dogs don't like it. Surprised they're not barking. So we set the fire. So you put your items together, and I know I saw a comment. Let me just see if there's a comment here. It doesn't hold them up for me because that would be the best. I fell asleep, and then I just woke up and fed Tinkerbell and had a pee, and then you popped up. Do you know about St. Bridget? Yes, I had like a whole time spent where I was like, you know, researching her and looking into her, because when I grew up as a kid, there was a St. Bridget's church, and my mother would always be like, oh, there's your church. But yeah, she was the first goddess I did for the goddess activations. All right, so sit in or stand in the south with your palms facing the mesa, and then you tone the directions. So there's the directions, and then there's Pachamama, and then the Great Spirit, which is above. So you would want to start from, do I have this right? South? Alright, so I'm going to face it like this. I will fix this too so you can see me when I'm doing these things. But basically we're going to face from the south with your hands directed at your mesa, or if you're not going to have a mesa, maybe you could have a fire or a candle going, whatever it is that you have, like an altar set up or some crystals or whatever, it doesn't matter. But you're gonna tone the direction. So tone is basically kind of like a singy, songy way of doing it. So Pachamama is for the south, Mama Kia is for the west, Weracocha is for the north, and Inti is for the east, and Kauchi is for the center. So we do that 3 times. Pachamama, 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 Mama Kia, Mama Kia, Mama Kia, Weracocha, 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 Inti, 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 Kauchi, Kauchi, Kauchi. And then in the south, we are going to open our crown and our brow and the nape of our neck and our heart center. So that's like what we do in the Muneki when we open Weracocha, which for me, I put my hands in prayer position, I put them straight up, and I engulf myself, you know, in that energy, like as if you were an astronaut putting yourself into like a bubble. And that's your soul energy, that's your light, that's your protection, like your soul star energy. So it's kind of like engulfing you in protection, and it's like a part of your aura. And that's how I would, you know, just, and if you don't feel comfortable in that position, some people just do it like they flip open like that. It's really, however it makes sense to you is the best way to do it. And then receive the sewa, Receive the Sewa, the shining column of light from Hanak Pacha, or the upper world, and direct this energy through your palms to the center of the mesa. So we've opened ourselves up. We're in our protected energy. We're in our own illuminous field. So we imagine the light of the highest realm, or the upper world, coming down into the crown and through our bodies, because we're not doing it. We're allowing spirit to come through us. So it takes the responsibility off of you. It lets you just be the open thing that's here. Like see yourself as a hollow reed, allowing that light to come through you into your hands, directed into the center of the space that you are blessing. You could also just imagine that you're sending this to Pachamama. Direct the energy through the palms to the center of the mesa, and then open your center around your navel area, your Cosco, and feel an umbilical cord of energy that connects you with the center of the mesa. So feeling yourself being connected to either your sacred space or to your mesa, to the energy that's here and available for you. And express your deepest and purest intention for the healing of Pachamama and for peace among all of her children, okay? So we would want that to be done at like 9:45 p.m., which it pretty much is. You know, we're there right now, with everybody else that's out there. So beginning at 9:45 p.m., simply allow that energy to flow through you into the mesa and deep into Pachamama. Feel your connection with the others in the other parts of the world who are also in this practice. So everywhere in the world right now, there are people with their mesas open in this ritual with us, sending these blessings to the energy of Pachamama and to the blessings so that we can create a new world. So we're in the realm of the mystic, and we're not acting, we're simply being. We're just being present. We're just allowing that energy of the higher planes and the higher light to come through us. And we continue to allow this. And they say at 10 p.m., you will probably feel a distinct energy shift. At this time, you may use the heightened energy to do healing on yourself, absentee healing for others, or you may simply close the mesa at that time if you chose, and like direct it towards something, or just put it on standby, or whatever you would like to do. And when you're done with that ceremony, you just either close the mesa up or direct the palms towards the center of the mesa and intone the directions one time each, and with the hands still facing the mesa, taking a breath and blowing to the center of the mesa, so like symbolizing closing. What I'm going to do is the Pachamama renewal process. So for right now, we're allowing this energy to build. We're allowing all of that light, all of that consciousness, all the frequency, all the added intentions that are out there across the world to come into our spaces and into our centers and into our sacred space. But the Pachamama renewal process is going to do with each of our chakras. So there's 7 of them, and I did share on my community board for the channel a picture of the directions so that you can do this yourself. And again, this is done every Wednesday, the basic thing that we're doing first here. And the Pachamama renewal process, you could do whenever you want. There's people who do things every day. They don't have like a set time for the every day, but they did have the set time for the every Wednesday. And there's a lot of things that can be done. This is the book that I just recently got. It's Peruvian Shamanism, the Pachacuti Mesa. I started the process of building the mesa a while ago. And then I went to a class to like learn from somebody directly that's done this with others. Like they had stuff handed down to them. But I kept finding like spirit, it's almost like spirit wants me to do stuff first and then get confirmation after that, like that was the right thing to do. So I knew about this book a while ago, but it wasn't available. It was like there was like one in the whole world, and they wanted way too much money for it. So I finally got it, and it gave me a lot of confirmation already. But there is a lot of other things that can be done in here too. But for now, because we do also have the full moon. So we have the full moon that's amplifying the energies. They even talk about that in here specifically. They said that during the time of the moon, is when people have like this added blessing energy. I think they had it with the West, with the dolphins and the whales. So we're creating Anyi too. So Anyi is that reciprocity. So when you receive something from Spirit, you want to give to Spirit. That's why we do like the offering just to Pachamama. But then when the full moon is here, they call it like lunacy, right? Like that's like the time of the lunacy. I believe that was where it was talking about. The moon is the most often the brightest in the light and the darkness, illuminated by the sun. The West is affiliated with the Akis, or the nature spirits, who help to bring us joy into the hearts of humanity and to understand aspects of our emotional body by bringing awareness from the unconscious into the conscious, so that, you know, connects again with that element of the water or the feminine essence. So Mama Kia's ability is to control the water, which Mama Kia is the moon. Not only does Mama Kia regulate the tides and the oceans, her energy has a powerful effect on water in general, influencing the water contained within our bodies. And as a result, the West is a symbol for the element of water, or Unu, and the animal totems, dolphin and whale, who are the masters of water. And water has been the symbol of human emotion and the unconscious aspects of self. Both the dolphin and whale have developed an exceptional ability to navigate the depths of the ocean, and they are masters of the ever-changing currents of this world. And above all, they are masters of the breath, submerging for long periods of time comfortably and utilizing the currents to their full advantage, as water is a symbol of human emotion. So this mastery of the waters ties these great cetaceans to humanity. And the dolphin and whale are seen as the keepers of our truest emotions. So holding the wisdom of the love carried deep within our emotional bodies and the unconscious. A shell is placed in the west of the Pachacuti Mesa, representing Mama Kocha, or Mother Ocean, which is seen as the container of all life. The West is also affiliated with Akris, those nature spirits who are mischievous, and they bring joy. They bring us gifts to the hearts of humanity. So tonight, being the full moon, it's a good time to connect with that energy. It's a good time to set the intentions for this next cycle that we're beginning. You could, like, everybody has their own ways of doing stuff too, so don't ever feel like you have to do what everybody else is doing. Like, you could do a releasing ceremony or a manifesting ceremony, or you could do both at the same time. Like earlier today, I lit a candle to ignite joy and love and confidence, solar plexus, energy into my life. And then I wrote a list of things that I felt like maybe blocking that from manifesting, and burnt it. So you could do something simple like that, or you could, again, intend, as we're connecting with that energy that is collectively out there right now, it's becoming more and more amplified. Our intention is to connect with those energies and those intentions of all across the globe, and all who are open and receptive to receiving and giving in Anyi, so that we can create a more beautiful life for all beings on the planet, and we can tap into the reservoir of energy and consciousness that's going to accelerate our ascension process and help to heal and bring blessings to the earth and to all the people on the earth and to anybody present here. So I always say, the more that you give, the more you receive. Whether it's an energetic giving, or whether you're physically giving, or you're emotionally giving, or whatever, as long as you're doing it not for the sole reason of getting something, you usually do get a lot back from that process of giving. So getting into that regularly, because I find what happens is people become more, like, if they feel like lack, or they feel like they don't have abundance, or they don't have something, they tend to hold everything closer because they're afraid of being without. And what that does is put them into the reverse of what they want, because what they want is more abundance, more blessings, more opportunities to heal and grow and ascend. But they block themselves by being like, oh, I don't have anything to give you. But if you instead give selflessly, even if it's like your last thing, you will be blessed back tenfold. Um, and sometimes the most beautiful things or the most abundant things or the biggest value that we can have given to us doesn't have money attached to it. It's priceless things like love. Um, so you could try to tap into that unconscious part of yourself that may be blocking you, which usually our unconscious beliefs are doing that because we have belief systems that were set up when we were children or passed down to us from our ancestors, or we've seen it through society, how people believe, oh, everybody does this, or everyone's gonna do that, or through the lived experiences that we have with people, we can start to feel like a victim of life and become, closed off and scared to give and receive. Um, so working on the subconscious level is a good thing, because then if you do decide to align with something and something blessing comes into your world, the beliefs that you hold within you, if they're not aligned to it, they will sabotage it and you will lose it. I've done it a lot. Like, I've seen myself do awesome and amazing and create all this abundance and blessings and opportunities and then sabotage it. But it's because of the belief system unconscious to me of like, I'm not worthy for this, or or everything good goes away, or whatever it is that we hold. So be aware that if those types of things are happening to you, it's probably on a deeper unconscious level. In meditation, affirmations, repetitively telling yourself things like, I am valuable, I am loved, I am worthy, I am attracting in alignment, I am blessed, I am, whatever it is that you want, allow yourself to believe it so that it can come. And I did find my pie stone from the last one that I did of these. I couldn't find it the whole time. And this is Palo Santo, so if you don't know what, like, you don't have sage or Palo Santo, you can again use like your intention, or you could use, what do you call it, one of those sticks, the incense sticks, whatever you have, it doesn't matter. But this kind of helps to cleanse, and it does have like, it has physical blessing opportunities as well. It will cleanse like microorganisms out of the air and bacteria and stuff like that. Alright, so I believe it is 10 o'clock on the dot, so that energy has grown and amplified. So now we're at the highest state of the energy possibly that we could have. So what I'm going to do is use that energy. They said you could use it for your healing, or you could, send it to someone or do something with it. What I'm going to do is the Pachamama renewal process. Let me show you. This is what it has for like the picture of it. Again, it is shared on the community board. People want to be able to see it. This is only the second time I've ever going to be doing it, so, bear with me. But at the Cosco, or the navel, we're going to hold our hands against our skin or our clothing at the lower belly in such a way that the tips of our thumbs and our index fingers form a diamond around the navel. And we're going to chant the word Cosco, which means navel, while envisioning the color green and rotating 360 degrees clockwise. Last time when I did this, I only did it once in my process, and then afterwards it was like, you can do this 3 times. So then I did it again in that way. What I'm going to do this time is this 3 times. So I'm imagining that color green and all of that energy, all of that blessing from all over the world right now coming into me, through that, basically, like, I imagine myself as like a hollow thing. So that energy is coming through the hollow thing into the hands, into this space. We're going to imagine green all around us, and Cusco, 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 Cusco. Okay. Then with the tips and the fingers, okay, we did that. With the tips of the thumbs together, fingers spread, palms facing the earth, elbows straight, draw in the energy through the feet and the palms and the perineum, and chant Alpa while envisioning the color brown and rotating 360 degrees. So the perineum is like between your legs, basically like your bum area, your root. So you want to like imagine yourself kind of, if you're a woman and you've ever done like a Kegel exercise, like you hold the energy like that. A man, I guess, like if you've ever had to pee, you hold your pee. Basically, you want to hold that energy and imagine that energy coming in while we're seeing the color brown, and we're bringing in that frequency and that energy with the alpha. Alpha, 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 alpha. Then we cup our hands at the solar plexus level, and we receive the stream from the waterfall to draw in the water energy from the palms and the heart in front of us and behind us. So when I did this, the first time I went around, I had my hands like this, and then the second time I went around, I put my hands behind me, but I don't think that's necessarily what I was supposed to do. I feel like we're just imagining that it's hitting us from both sides. Well, we do Unu for the water, and we imagine the color blue this time. So see the waterfall hitting us, and as we get to here, to also, hitting our backs as well. And it's Unu, 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 Unu. Okay, and then palms, face your palms towards the heavens at the shoulders width apart and shoulder height, harnessing the wind through your palms and your throat center, chanting Weira with the wind, which means wind, while envisioning the colors silver and white rotating, okay? So silver and white for Weira, which is wind. Weira, 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 Weira. And then we're going to raise our arms so that they are parallel to the earth, elbows bent at 90 degrees, palms facing forward, allowing the light and fire energy to be received through the palms in the brow. So like our third eye, like we're receiving it here and here. And we're chanting Nina for the fire while envisioning the color red, okay? Nina, 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 Nina. And then the tips of the thumbs and the index fingers together forming a triangle. Place your thumbs against the bridge of your nose, with your hands against your forehead, your palms spread. Arch your back and integrate the rainbow into your brow and crown. So we're feeling the rainbow coming in up here. And as we chant Kauchi, which means rainbow, we're going to envision violet, purple, and again rotating 360 degrees. So see the rainbow coming in while we're also getting that purple all around us. Arch the back, Cauchi, 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 cauchi. And then we return the hand position to the navel and we chant Cusco again to envision the color green again, rotating 360 degrees. So, Cusco, 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 Cusco. Then we're going to breathe deeply. We're going to spread our legs a little bit further than shoulder. And when we go down, we're going to squat and inhale at the same time. And then hold your breath. And then softly blow into the earth as you return to your standing position. So it's like breathing in as you go down into this position. And then holding it for a little bit. And then back to the standing position. And then do the 360 degrees. But this time, there's no color associated with it, so it's more so breathe deeply. And then rotate. Breathe deep. And then return your hand position to the navel and chant Cusco. Oh no, we did that. All right. Breathe deeply. Boop, boop, boop. Rotate 360. Optional is to do each full cycle 3 times for the ideal benefit. That's why I did the 3 circles. For the most benefit of this would be doing what I showed you and then doing that process again and then doing that process again. So everything I just did, repeat. But the whole reason I did this now like this is so that you could see what I'm doing, because earlier the video I shared is pointed at just the Mesa, so nobody could see the actions. But yeah, that's what that looks like. Complete the ritual once a day or no less than once a week for the enhanced alignment in your life. Now, I'll say I did this last week, and I've gotten a lot done since then, and I've been feeling better. I've been doing other things too, not just this, but this is something that I did specifically last week, and I've been finding myself getting more of my work done and like producing more stuff and not being so lost within like the void of life. It says Pachacuti Mesa rituals, despacho ceremonies, the Wednesday night Mesa link up, and the Pachamama renewal process are examples of basic forms of ceremonial practice found in the specific shamanic tradition. So I've done despachos before. There's some on the channel, videos that you can watch and see how that's done. Those can be done for a variety of reasons, but they do help us to give respect to spirit and then receive blessings from spirit. And then it's important to remember these forms of prayer are simply examples. You are encouraged to be playful with the ceremony and allow them to be a living teacher, which requires allowing room for change. As Joseph Campbell points out, if a mythology does not continue to evolve, it dies. The same is so for ritual and ceremony. Although ceremonial repetition is healthy and important, mindless compliance with any prescribed directive or tradition is not. It is my hope that you become comfortable with the basic format of the ceremonies. Through repetition, you will begin to incorporate elements of your own spirituality into the practice. Emulating these ceremonies is important only until one has fully integrated and internalized them in their original form, as there is an accumulative wisdom present in them that has evolved over thousands of years. Therefore, it is important to first experience the ceremonies and internalize them before reshaping and redesigning them to reflect your own spirituality. Done in this manner, the interactive ceremonial process will profoundly deepen your relationship and intimacy with spirit while averting the need to reinvent the wheel. Eventually, using these principles will also empower you with the freedom and flexibility to create your own ceremonies as you feel led. So, like I was saying at the beginning, like if you don't have a certain tool, don't skip the ceremony just because you don't have cornmeal or you don't have whatever. It's okay to be like flexible with it, and then later, as you've gotten comfortable with stuff, make your own ceremonies, make your own rituals, take things into your own power. You'll probably find that you're doing things innately that are aligned to stuff that are traditionally done anyhow. So that's how I've found everything to kind of come to be. Every time I think it's something that I haven't done, it is something that's been done. All right, let's see. She originally came from Somerset, England, as for Patrick. They're both Irish saints. I'm from Somerset, as is Glastonbury and Somerset, and so is my Stargate. Bridget, there is a kind of squat called a swimmer squat, which is the same hand action, but you squat as you go up with your hands. Oh, cool! In a circular motion. Oh, it's probably similar to this test. Huh? What's it? Are you testing to see if you can comment? It's like test. I don't know. Yeah, I know Saint Bridget. They made her a saint because she was the goddess of everything, and they couldn't just do away with her like they did the other ones back then when they came in. The Catholic Church came through and was like, you can no longer practice your stuff. But she was like so loved by people. She was the goddess of poetry, shamanism, like labor, birth, honey, bees, like just anything you could think of. And so they knew they couldn't like just X her off because everybody was like, knew who she was. So they made her a saint. So Saint Bridget and Goddess Bridget are basically the same being. But I have a lot of weird little synchronicities I think maybe connect to the name. I also believe that when you come into a body, there may be a certain being that you like feel connected to. Like a lot of men feel connected to Jesus. A lot of women feel connected to Isis. Some feel connected to Mary. Mary and Isis are basically the same. So that even what I'm going to say right now kind of correlates to that. I feel like there's an imprint or like almost like a menu that you get when you're going to incarnate of what lessons you're going to go through, and what things are going to like resonate deep on your soul level. And it's almost like we imprint ourselves with aspects of different consciousness. So some of us resonate strongly with Isis and some of us resonate strongly with Mary. But it probably depends on where you grow up, what religions are around you, what races you have, and all of those things. But I feel like it's kind of like it's like a computer program. It's like, oh, you got Windows 10 and you got Windows 12, and there's things within it that you're going to go through that make you feel a resonance to certain elements along the way, or like little blessings or opportunities to grow or lessons and adversities that you go through. But I feel like that happens because there's so many people I've met that are like, I feel like I was Mother Mary, or other people, I feel like I was Jesus, or they feel like that on a deep level. I feel like it can't be that everybody that felt that is that, but I do feel like we can all kind of connect. This is brilliant, Bridget. We called Brad. I know she had Brigard. Was called. We have sacred wells called Bidewell. Yep. I was told I'm a Saint Germain the other day, and he is a Blu-ray like me, and I even look like him in one depiction Blu-ray. He's the one that we connect to in the new paradigm. We do the Violet Flame, Saint Germain and the Violet Flame, and the new paradigm is the one that connects with where you are, with like the Saint Michael and Mary Mount and the Dragon Line and all of those things that I know you are right there on top of. But Saint Germain is the one that was like connected to that too. Saint Germain, Violet Flame, I can't think. Hari Baba was the guy who like channeled it in, and then there was some other people like Ascended Masters. There was a lot of Ascended Masters spoke about within it. Archangel Michael was spoken about a lot. Saint Germain and the Violet Flame was in there a lot, and then a couple others were like mentioned here and there, but not as much as he was. And there was like specific activations for that. The only thing that sucks about it is I can't teach it long distance. It's like an in-person class that you have to be there for. Yeah, the Violet Flame. Wow, I'm tingling. I feel like, see, like that was the thing that I didn't like about that class, because like you go through the Reiki class, and in Reiki you get your activations or you get your attunements, right? You get Reiki 1 attunement, Reiki 2 attunement, Master attunement. Then the new paradigm came, and the new paradigm, instead of like doing the Gasho prayer to create, you know, your sacred space, or doing symbols to connect with people, it was like we open the vortex and then we're open to whatever there is. There's no limitation, whatever you need. Because what he was saying is if you put this symbol into your hand and you're channeling that symbol, you're limiting yourself to just that symbol. You're not open to all that is. So you're only channeling so much when there could be like a vast amount that wants to come through. So he was saying like, you know, Reiki was limited and blah, 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 blah. But then in the same breath is like, but if you, because I'm a master teacher for the, like I took the regular one and then the master teacher one so I could teach it. He limits it by saying you can't teach this long distance. I'm like, why? Like, and I get why, but like, I feel like no matter what, it depends on the teacher. Because what he was saying is like, Reiki got watered down over the years from all these people passing it on. But back in the day, when they first started passing it on, they didn't give manuals, they didn't have papers. Like, people memorized the symbols and taught the symbols from memory. So some people have the symbol that looks like this, and some, it got messed up along the way. It's not the original system that Dr. Yusui received. So he was trying to like break out of that, not have that issue and all of that, but then he limited by saying, oh, you can't teach it long distance, so it felt limited. But I think what I can do is share the activations individually, but you can't get like a certificate from going through the portion. Like, you can take all the different activations, but you just can't get the certificate as if you were in the class with me. I came here to heal, learn how to heal, and teach how to heal. I have done my Reiki 1, and I'm going to become a master like you. Aw, thank you. I feel like there's a lot, that's like why a lot of us are here right now, is to anchor those energies in that, you know, healing. I did the Reiki, and the reason why I ended up getting kind of like about it was because of the limits that were placed on it. Like, I had already been doing long distance healing for people, like on my own, and when I went to Reiki 1, she was like, oh, you can't do that till Reiki 2 when you get this symbol like integrated. I'm like, that doesn't make sense because I've already done that. So I didn't like that. And the only reason I even completed the full-on like master teacher part of it was because people know what Reiki is. People know, like, oh, I'm a Reiki master. Like, they know what that is. But like a new paradigm, multi-dimensional, blah, 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 they don't know what that is. Mune Ki, they don't know what that is. So I felt like, and plus it felt incomplete to only have Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. So I went and I got the master, but the reason for that too is when you go into new paradigm, he clears out all of the activations that you get from the Reiki. So it's like, let me get my Reiki master, then go over to the new paradigm master teacher, clear that out. So it was like, it felt so weird and like contradictive. And that's why I ended up doing Alcyon light healing too, is like, that's literally like a combination of it all. And that's why I feel like I got benefit from Reiki, I got benefit from Mune Ki, I got benefit from New Paradigm, but I collectively use all of the wisdom and the information together, and also just intuitively by myself. Whatever spirit directs in is what I listen to and you know, think is the best process. And I know there's a lot of things in here too that can be done. See, and I like this stuff too because it incorporates like items, things to do, like the despacho ceremony. You have to like put together a pretty item, and you make it like all nice with flowers, and you blow your intentions in there, then you burn it. It's like a whole thing, and everything has meaning. But I know there was other stuff in here that I saw. There was pictures, yeah. So they talk about the voice a lot with this stuff, putting people specifically aligned. Like if somebody needs emotional healing, you'd want their body to be aligned with the emotional side. If they're doing mental healing, you want them to be aligned with mental healing. So north is spiritual healing, east is mental healing, south is physical healing, and west is emotional healing. So you position that client aligned in this way. So you see north, like if they're north, you want their head facing that way. If they're west, you want their head facing down. If you see, so even just having that added bit helps. And they say there is prescribed chants to help entrain the physical body to spiritual energies utilized for healing, like toning or chanting helps harmonize the vibrational frequencies of the body to be able to receive the energy. So kanche, sami, so ka se sami kanche. And then this person here, he's doing kanche energy into the crown of this patient. And the hand position is literally just like putting a finger. See how his hand is kind of like, it's in this, like, but he has it, he's got one hand on them and holding one hand like that for the kanche. That's for spiritual healing. Being a heightened form of spiritual energy, kanche must be absorbed into the body from the Hanak Pacha. Hanak Pacha is the upper world. It's funny because Hanak Pacha is the name of the place that I kept getting brought to when I had my weird crystal thing happening. And is the place that I spent a couple $100 on this one. The name of his store is Hanak Pacha. And every time I would look for a certain type of crystal when I was learning like what different types there are, it would always bring me back to his store, no matter what. And I'm popping this into Google, like there's a billion places out there, but it was always Hanak Pacha, Hanak Pacha. So Hanak Pacha is the upper world of the shamanic three worlds. You got the upper world, the middle world, the lower world. The healer receives the kanche energy from the upper world into the crown, the head, and the nape of the neck, and the left palm. And there's several techniques are employed to assist that process. And in the same manner of the directions, Pachi Mama Mama Kio Werakocha Inti and Kauchi are toned to open the circle. Kanche is toned 7 times to create the intensified state of awareness as the energies as they received from the unseen world. So as kanche is toned, the healer will begin to feel a slight pulsing in the tip of his or her finger on the right hand, okay, on the right. And as the rest of the fingers are curled and locked with the right thumb, an increase of energy should begin to accumulate more intensely in the tip of the right index finger. So, kanche, 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 kanche. It can feel like a tiny heart beating in the tip of your finger. And once you feel that pulsation, the delivery of the energy may be made with intentions uniquely suited for each client. And it's administered through either the forehead, the brow, or through the top of the patient's crown. So I guess you would gather it and then, deliver it somewhere, or just gather it and allow it to come through you into that person, or even just directing it with your intention. You can gently place your finger on the brow for the flow of the Hanak Pacha through the patient. The administration energy should be done for approximately 10 minutes or as long as your intuition dictates. And in addition, a charged kanche kuya, which is an object, should be placed in the left hand of the patient to potentiate the influx of spiritual energy. So if you had a stone that you had, said, like, this is my blah blah, like this is this stone for whatever intention you want, you would want to put that there to correlate with it. So the kuyas are stones or sacred objects, like this one's a half of an acorn or something. I don't know what this is specifically. And it's like a thing that falls off the tree. I can't think of the name. I think it might be a walnut or something, but it's obviously not a rock, but it's still a sacred object. It's in the West. So if I'm doing a blessing like emotionally for somebody, I could put this in the left hand of that person while I'm directing energy from a different level or different layer. But they have, different places. So there's the causeway energy, which again, what you'd want to do causeway 7 times. And that one is the whole hand being open. There's mental and emotional healing. The causeway is physical. Sami is the mental and emotional. Sami. And that one has your fingers like this. And it's like, I don't know, I'm making some food and I'm putting some salt on some stuff. What that guy does, I don't know what that is. I'm seasoning this bitch. But that's how he has his hand. So he's like directing his energy like this, like right into the back of the person. And then again, I don't know if that one toned. Sami should be toned. So all of them are toned 7 times when they're by themselves. For emotional healing, it's beneficial to have the client lay in the west of the mesa with his or her head pointing towards the south. And then it could help that person to be more grounded in the earth, the physical part of themselves. And it allows people involved in the emotional drama of the heart, which brings them away from the body, to be able to attain a connection to Pachamama. And then supplemental use of those forces and energies are extraordinarily effective in treating clients with emotional conditions. So there's like a whole, there's a whole section on all of that stuff. Again, this book is Peruvian Shamanism, the Pachacuti Mesa. I've wanted it for a long time. There's so much in here that's like awesome. I do have one other book too that I haven't even really had a chance to dive fully into it. But it is supposedly this woman traveled around and talked to shamans all over Peru. It's the Masters of the Living Energy. It's a lot bigger. It says the mystery world of the Cuero of Peru. So the Cuero of Peru is where all this stuff comes from. There's pictures, a couple of pictures in here, but she, interviewed these guys, talked to these guys, and then made this book out of it. This is like, the one I just got is more of like a hands-on how to do, A to Z. It's easy to follow along, I feel. But look at that, I just opened right up to the gifts of the Mesa. So this one does talk about it. The Mesa is a bundle of power objects that connect the Andean Pacos with the ancestors, the sacred sites, where they do their initiations, and the helping spirits, especially the Apus, which are the mountain spirits. The Mesa is not a Paco's power, but it symbolizes his power. An Andean Paco can push the causeway in his work, for example, during a healing, without the physical presence of his Mesa, but he is seldom without it. His Mesa is his most precious possession, almost a part of him. In fact, as you will soon learn from the Pampa Mosaic, Puma Quispe Singoa, a Paco's Mesa is his heart's fire. So Puma recounts his initiations and his background in this here, and why he has become, in this lineage. Tells about his story and, all of that. So it's like, it's more of like a background or like a history of all of this. So it's not really like a direction. Like, I'm sure you could pull out of it directions, but it's not as specific as that. So this is like preparing a mesa. A mesa might have stones, crystals, other power objects. It's wrapped in a beautiful cloth to make a bundle. Whatever you put in the mesa, only put it in if you have a strong yes about it. For example, this stone picks up a very large chunk of amethyst. Would be beautiful for me to have in my mesa because it's powerful and it comes from a special apu. But it is not practical because it's big and heavy and it would not be able to carry it. So I would not be responsible enough to carry this apu everywhere. So you want to be mindful about the objects, that you add to it. The Mesa carrier and the causeway. So this is basically like a bigger version of that. And then this is a Pleiadian Earth energy astrology. This talks about astrology, but in a spiral way rather than a physical way. And I feel like a lot of the people who are going to be called to this, called to my stuff that I do, probably would align with this information, because it's like being in a vortex, and it's like being in that spiral of life. I say it all the time. I feel like I spiral back around. Like, I can't just do things in one time. It correlates with 13. And it helps you to figure things out. So the day that you're born is connected to a number, and from that number, you go through 13 processes, and you cycle back around over and over and over. So this is called Pleiadian Earth Energy Astrology, Charting the Spirals of Consciousness. But I always feel like people would do good to know about this. And you can find out about your relationships with other people. You may be an initiating person with a duality person, so you might initiate the balance of duality within a relationship. Doesn't have to be romantic, could be whatever. So there's illuminating, understanding, completing, change, flow, merging, connecting, harmonizing, manifesting. But there's also two sets of that. There's being, breathing, listening, planting. There's a lot. There's a whole lot in this. It's like a whole other system. It's not as vast as our regular one, but it's pretty big. What does this say? Well, you are educating us in this new paradigm. Do you know the author End All Beal? No. By the way, I love your hair. Thank you. Another 7. Horse chestnut. Oh, that's what that is. Or conquer. Yeah, I don't know. Is that the name? End All... What? End... where is he? End All Beal. That's the, like, what they write under is their name. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. I don't think so. I don't know, maybe they have the book named that? I think they... Oh, there is a cleansing and digesting heavy energy ritual here. Harmonizing with the setting sun, harmonizing with the rising sun, harmonizing with the moon, harmonizing with the stars. So it's the full moon. It's only one section here. The exercise takes patience and dedication. You choose the time of night when the moon is high in the sky, and over 2 consecutive months, you go outside at the same time of the evening and repeat the technique described above, only this time with the moon. Okay, so it's the same as the other one. What was the other one? So if you were going to do, this could be done with the rising sun. This exercise you do for 1 month during sunrise. How does the energetic feel of the environment change as the sun rises and infuses your world with its light and heat? How does a rising sun feel energetically different from a setting sun? Is there a different taste to the energy? So I feel like I do this kind of intuitively anyways. Like I mentioned recently how I stood outside at night, and it was after like the eclipse and all this crazy stuff was going on, and I felt like the shift. I could feel a shift in the energy. So becoming connected and aware of that is basically what I feel like they're having you do. So with the moon one, you be sure to give yourself at least 20 minutes. Keep your eyes closed as you sense the moon. Attune to your Pakpo or open your Kosko and see if you can sense the changing conditions of the moon. When does a cloud cross in front of it? Did you feel the shooting star to the left of it? You may never know if there really was a shooting star because your eyes are closed. During the course of a month, how does the moon's energy change with its phases? It's helpful to repeat this exercise for at least 2 months in a row. And then how is the moon energy different from the sun? The taste, the masculine nature of the sun and the feminine nature of the moon. Basically, this is a practice to teach you how to be more in tune with your surroundings and more aware, which is basically what the whole awakening is. Becoming aware to your surroundings. This was like how I was initiated, was standing outside every night for hours on end, just like, connecting. So even just going outside at night and connecting with that energy that's present is beneficial, because there's no artificial technology, there's no chaos of the world. You could do it with the stars too. They have harmonizing with the stars. Focus on the stars. You may choose one star, which, oh my freaking god, dude. I've told people this specifically. I'm like, find the star that's talking to you. There will be one star out of all the stars. They're like, focusing on the stars. You may choose one star to which to focus your energy, attention, or simply give yourself over to the energy field of the stars. There is a lot of artificial light that can drown out starlight, but if you're in a place where you can see, you want to use that. We want to use what we're connecting with, although energetically it does not matter if you can physically see the stars or not. It is preferable that you can see them visibly, if for no other reason than their beauty, which inspires us to practice. It's a glorious exercise in Peru, where the darkness of the countryside makes the night sky blaze with fist-sized stars. The Milky Way is the great glowing road across the Hanak Pacha, the great shaman's road in the shamanic tradition. Americo says that the eyes of the shaman shine brighter and are more charged the more he is able to move the power of his filaments in the direction of the stars. I have heard it said by the Alto Mosaic from Lima that we have each one star that belongs only to us, which is the star of our destiny. If you can identify this star and incorporate its energy, then you can read the story of your present and future life in it. And as you practice this energy sensing exercise, can you find your star? I know my star, man. I know it. I know my freaking star. What you have been doing in these exercises with the celestial energies is experiencing the refined energies of the Hanak Pacha, powerful part of the Causeway Pacha, through your Apako rather than through your physical senses. And you also have been exercising and sensitizing your Cosco. So as you touch these energies, you inevitably pull refined energy into your energy body, increasing your capacity and power. And as you can see, it takes time and effort to develop and practice power of your energetic body. But as you have also no doubt found, the effort is worth it. So yeah, I feel like that's crazy, because I do that. That's how I woke up, or that's what, like, the first thing I did when I woke up was just go outside and stare at the stars, and they talk to me, you know, like, and their energy did. But I tell people, find the star that, you know, jumps out at you. There's usually going to be one that's brighter. If it's a time where we can see a planet, then you might see the planet. So it's good to get out there and recognize, like, what's out there, because there will be a star that talks to you or catches your attention. It's brighter than the others. And when you find it, stand still, don't move. And it takes a while, you know, for you to get energetically, like, relaxed and all of that, but when you look at it, you don't need to move or anything. You just kind of just stay as still as possible, and then ask it to show you yes, and it will, and ask it to show you no, and it will, and then pay attention and ask questions, and it will answer them. It does not fail for me anytime I've done that, but it takes you, like, you've got to build a relationship. You can't just go out there and be like, hey, talk to me, star, like 5 seconds into it, you know. It's like I don't know. I feel like you're either going to be able to do it or you're not going to be able to do it. It's not like a quick process, and it's not something that you just rush just to see. But the longer that you're out there, I've noticed, the further you can see. So if I was out there for 4 hours, I could see these little tiny, like, specks, but they would be moving quickly and doing different things. Like, it's not a freaking satellite, it's not a plane, it's not even close to us. It's so far away because of the size, it's so small, but they would do, like, crazy things. But it takes a while for you to be able to see that far, because your eyes are, you know, adjusting to the darkness and everything. Plus, there's a lot of pollution from the light. Even where I am, where it's like all, you know, nature, we have light sources and buildings and things that throw it off. So give yourself time to connect and see. What do you got here? He is called Endal Beal. Okay. And his wife is Gemma Beal. I think I might have heard of that name. She said she did Reiki, but when she asked her guides in attunement, they couldn't or wouldn't answer. The book is called The Energy Experience. I think you would resonate with it. Okay. I have been seeing the star-like lights for 2 years, ever since I went to Stanton Drew, a very famous stone circle in Somerset. I have seen at least 100 of these anomalies, and the speed of which they turn is nothing capable on this earth. Wow, imagine this is exactly what I just wrote. That's so crazy. Yeah, I've seen like, I don't even know how to, I guess like a grain of salt, like if you were going to compare it to something here on our planet, is like the size of, what I feel like I could see, but it was hours before I'd be able to see it. And getting a telescope was useless because I got a telescope, but these objects that I would see are always moving. So when you have a telescope, you zone in on one item or one object. If it's moving, you can never really get it. So it was a waste of time to have the telescope. But I did see a lot of, like what you're saying, like things that move in a way that we don't have anything that would even make sense. Because people be like, oh, it's probably just a satellite. Or, oh, it's probably just a... I'm like, no, it's not any of those probably blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not crazy. And I'm definitely not the type of person that wants to, like, bring stuff up that I know is going to easily be, like, dismissed. I've gotten better over time since, like, having all these experiences, like, sharing my experiences, but it's not easy because people are so quick to dismiss or think you're just nuts. Like, you can't actually be seeing something that, they don't know about. The next day I saw two from the opposite sides of the sky flying towards each other, and I honestly thought they would collide, but they just passed in a whisker. And you need one of those big I have one of the big fat, like, round ones like that. I had a tall thin one. That was like the old one that we had, and then I bought one of those, like, deep space ones. But the problem, like I said, it's like they're always moving. I'd see it like for a second go by. I'm like, okay. It was good for, like, seeing, like, planets or seeing, like, the moon. I always get told, and I can spot them in about 5 minutes of looking. I feel like where you are, there's probably a better, I don't know, like, a way to see. I feel like there's probably not as much light pollution where you are. Like they said, when you're in Peru, there's probably, like, an amazing view because they don't have all of that technology and that chaos and that craziness that just ruins everything. But that's all this is. Like, people, like, think, like, oh, it's such just, like you have to be doing all this crazy stuff. It's like, literally, like, just go outside, man. Just go outside. Put the phone down. You'll be connected. Like, you don't have to be doing any miraculous stuff. You don't have to do anything at all, is really what it is. Spirit does it all. If you think you have to be, like, special or whatever, then you're missing the point. Because it's, I think Alberto says, like, uniquely unimportant. You're uniquely unimportant when you're doing this. Hello. Lots of light. Oh, really? I just look at a star as they don't move and just use your peripheral, and you will eventually see one. Yeah. I think I think a lot of people don't have the patience anymore to spend any time, like, away from, like, stimulus or notifications or some sort of input. Not everybody, but I've noticed that, like, it's hard to get people to pay attention to anything for longer than a few seconds. And it's like, it would probably really benefit you, put the phone down, go outside, breathe the air, connect to the earth. They now sell stuff that you could plug in that's supposed to, like, mimic the earth. I'm like, just go outside, man. We live on it. You don't have to plug it in. There's so many weird things that people do. Just to stay connected to their desk. I mean, I know I could be better with my stuff, but I think I was lucky to grow up in the last generation before there was just like all being inside all the time. I have seen hundreds. Do you watch Mr. B3333 on the YouTube? He always shows these things from the space station, and it's exactly the same thing. I don't know if I like I don't know his name specifically, but I've watched a lot of stuff over the years, and I've seen the things like from the like from space view, and it is like the same, like that weird movements, and they don't have any like explanation for it that makes sense. You know, I haven't seen anybody come up with like a, oh, that's just a blah blah blah, or what it like, oh, it's a particle of dust. No, it's not. Particles of dust don't do that anyways. In the middle of the void of space. Yeah, no, it's definitely not a plane. It's not anything that we have. It's not anything that we can do unless we've taken it from somewhere else and back engineered it or used somebody else's thing, which I know they have done. That's one of the reasons why I like don't go out as often as I used to. Like I woke up in 2011 and all I did for like a while was go outside every night. It was like I got called, like summoned out, and I would be out there all night long. My neck would hurt from like staring. I would freeze. I'd put blankets and robes and just wrap myself and be out there all night. There was times I slept out there in like the chair. There was like a like a like a lawn chair thing I would sleep in. But when I realized that they have taken technology from them and like made their own, like the people here have done that, they don't let us know about it. So like they have that. It kind of like freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, that could be us, like lying or doing whatever, like being manipulative. So it's hard because I already had the thing in the back of my head of like, oh, you might get abducted and probed and stuff, and like try to put that aside. And then realizing like, oh, humans also have this technology too now. Well, humans, from what I can see so far, have not been the best to deal with. So that kind of like made it be like, but I have been getting back into going out and seeing what's out there. Wintertime's always better because you can see much more. Hello, Eugene. I'm well. How are you? And then I used to lay in bed with the curtains open and just watch. Yep. I remember when I was a kid, I would see a lot of stuff too. I saw a lot of stuff with my neighbor. Like one night we were in the tent and we had the top of the tent off, so it was just screen. But there was a section of stars, like a circle of stars. It was like, just looked like the regular sky, but then like a circle broke off. And it was like, it was just didn't even look real. It was like, what the hell is that? It was like, it broke. The stars were still there, but it like started moving away from there. So it was like leaving a space where I was like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was as if like we just cut a hole into the universe and we're like, okay, move that over here. And it did, it moved. And like all of it moved. So it was like a ship that was cloaked as stars, is the best way I could say it, but it was huge. It was the hugest thing I've ever seen to date. That was crazy and mind-boggling. It was so like, whoa, that I still remember it now. So I know it was something happening. But I saw a lot of stuff like that when I was a kid, just weird stuff. I used to, okay. I feel like, I remember like X-Files came out, and I feel like X-Files kind of was like designed in a way to make us feel fear or to keep us in a state of like, because X-Files is, I'm pretty sure, like, I didn't even like see that much of it, but like when I think of getting abducted or whatever, like that's where it comes from. It's like that show, the X-Files. Sully and whatever, I don't even know if that's the real name, but the Greys too, like they use the Greys as like their spokesperson for space and aliens, and I feel like it's because they don't want people to connect with that energy, or they want people to be afraid of it so that they don't utilize it or go as far as they can with it. When I was when I was, when I was 18, I saw a huge orange triangle like it was on fire. It was massive. I believe it was a portal. And a few years ago, a UFO blog, I saw on a UFO blog. So one saw exactly the same thing. I nearly fainted. Same date he saw it in day, but he was a craft come out of it, and that's why I know it was a sign for me. Um, I've been seeing stuff lately, like usually now, like when something is seen, it's like a lot of people are seeing the same things. Like they're getting reported more than just one time, or like from different areas too are seeing the same type of stuff. The only problem I have now is like that sometimes it could be false like stuff. Um, like they could be trying to make people think something, because I feel like what they're gonna do is try to like fool people and make people be afraid or like want to fight or be in opposition to having that awareness, like, hey, guess what, we're not the only ones, and yeah, some are more advanced than us, because that's just how anything is in all of the universe. Like, you put all that stuff out there, things come to life. And sometimes they do that before you, and sometimes they do after you. I'm sure there's planets out there that are like inundated and like, weird creatures that are, barely able to survive. But that's evolution. I was going to do, so I want to finish this Alcyon light healing. I've got the manual out now. I've put the manual out because I realized I've learned about ADHD. ADHD, you have object permanence. If you don't see the object, you forget about it. So I was like consistently forgetting. So I put the manual out last Thursday in my view. And since then, I've already posted for it. So I know I'm going to be able to finish that. There's a lot more than I thought there was left, too. So I want to get that done. But then I was going to do like a shamanism, like the basics of shamanism, so that people can find their way to the lower world, the middle world, the upper world, get their spirit animals, connect with their iron presence, do the soul retrieval, do the different things that like are good to do, like the illumination process, this process, that process. So that would be like the basic level of it, that, and then do like a more in-depth like Mesa work with people, like giving them specific directions where we communicate, like you could talk to me and I could talk to you, and it's not like just a general thing. But I do want to have that available for people. I keep getting pushed to do that. Just the basic stuff, getting that out. So what that will probably be is similar to what Alcyon Light Healing has been, but the guide, like I'll teach you the basic of it and then have the activation be available for people. I might also do it, because I was thinking of doing it in a way where if somebody wanted to work like one-on-one or solo or whatever, or like a small group of people, like when I did the Moon Key, there'd be like 4 people that would come and we would all be together in that session. I can do it with Zoom, or I could do it in a group on Facebook where we can all communicate either through typing or video. But I'm definitely going to do something. I'm probably going to poll and see who's even interested before I create anything to do with all of it. Like I've already got it all written out, like the different levels of it and what I would teach and how I would, but how I present it is going to depend on how people show up to me, because I don't want to create something that nobody uses. Let's see. That's how I know I'm a Blu-ray, like an aerosol can, but the bottom outwards, Shekinah Rose, sorry. I'm up for that, definitely. Okay. And then now on YouTube, you could do a multi-live? What's that? What the hell's a multi-live? Like, because I remember the whole reason I even paid for Zoom is because I wanted to go live with another person that had their channel or whatever, but like, you couldn't just do that. It was like this big process. Is that what they do now? Like, you can, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so they basically did what they should have done along. They're so far behind with stuff. Like I said earlier, I can't comment a picture. Just basic run-of-the-mill, like, social media platform stuff doesn't really have that. Just the only thing it is like longer videos. Um, Even the community board for the longest time was like one picture and that was it. So if you had more than one picture to share, you'd have to do like a bunch of them in together. I haven't seen it in action, but I saw it. But you need the latest update on YouTube. Okay. I have I like on Facebook, I didn't realize like how much shit they actually give to you available for free in a group. Like if you do a group, like my Muniki group, I can go live in there. I could do audio only, I could do video only. I could do all these things that basically like eliminate me paying for Zoom or eliminate like all this other crap. They have polls, they have like mentorships, they have, and you can set it up in different ways. You can set it up to be a teaching group, you can set it up to be like a friends group, you can set it up to be a family group. Like there's so many massive amounts of options on how to utilize it. It would be cool if they had that as its own entity, because there's so many people in the spiritual community that won't touch Facebook, which I understand. But it is like, in my sense of like, how can I reach these people, communicate with these people, talk to these people, and not spend like $300 on some crazy system that allows that to happen. Um, that was a good thing. My website has the live thing, but I can't be. I don't think I can have you live on the video unless I do the Zoom option. I have to look into that because I pay for that too. So of all these things that I use, but there's so many things, it makes it complicated and difficult to even know. Like what the best one is or what I should or shouldn't do. I'm always getting charged. Like I have Microsoft 360. I don't know why I ended up with like the family plan of Microsoft. So I have like 4 extra people that don't use it. For like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, Microsoft, all that crap. And then they have like the collab thing. There's so much shit that's involved within it, but I feel like it's such a waste because I'm only one person. I don't have 4 other devices or even 4 other people. Like I think my sister uses it for some stuff, but that's about it. But I can't like get rid of stuff either because then you have stuff saved within their thing, and it's like if you get rid of it, get rid of all the stuff that's been saved. So that's not fun. But whatever. Maybe I found a Telegram too. Telegram, I just saw recently. It's like I forgot about it again. I saw it on Facebook. I don't think it is Facebook. I think it's its own entity or whatever. But it's like you can post and comment and have groups and go live within it. I don't know if it has video option or not, but it did seem like a free, easy thing to use. It's pretty good. Okay, you have Telegram. I made one recently on this phone. This is my mom's old phone. Ah. No. Oh, that's what I uploaded today was the podcast. I'm like, what did I do? Yeah, Telegram. Update Telegram. Remind me later. So, oh no. Yeah, I did one post in here. It's called Divine Essentials. Oh, I have 3 subscribers, so I guess I'm doing all right. I don't know if you go live. How is the live? Is it like, is there a video option for live? I'm not sure. Okay. I see like a hold to record video, tap to switch. How did I even go live to begin with? Compose. I could do a secret chat, a new channel, a new group. I just want to... Alright, start live stream. Oh, there is a camera. Okay. So I can do camera. into it. Back camera. Okay, I was just testing my thing to see if I could use this for live. So if I make like a private Telegram, I don't know if there's the option for both people at the same time, but who knows? Leave. I could share an invite link. There could be listen only, speak. There's so many weird settings. Share the screen. So if I share my screen, oh, it captures everything on the screen. Well, that's good to know, because then I could do like a slideshow. But I don't know if like multiple people can be in there at once. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll try to find the best way, because I know people want to talk to me, so it's not really conducive here. Yay! Thank you. But I think on Facebook, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw a place that it was like it was free and you could talk to me at the same time as me talking to you, which people seem to like that the most. So try to find that. When I close up my Mesa, in the book it said like at the end we would close it the same way that we opened it, where it's like I toned all of the different peeps. So you could either just close it or you could intentionally close it. Let's see what they say here. Direct the palms toward the center, intone the directions one time each, and then with the hands still facing the Mesa, take a breath and blow to the center of the Mesa. So the directions were Hachi mama mama kia wera kocha inti kauchi. Hachi mama. And then some people close these with intention too. Does this go down any further? No. Alright. Each one has a thing. So obviously, like the feminine is over here, right? That's still going to be the same. Masculine over here. The south is like our ancestors. The south is the serpent energy. I put my shell into here so that it doesn't break. Alright. And we want to put everything in the center. I have a really big cloth. Some of them are smaller. They're more of like a square. But everybody does it their own way. So it's like you want to take from the earth, like this is Pachamama energy, and bring that up. And then you can decide, do you want the feminine or the masculine on top? So if I wanted to put like the masculine first with the feminine over, and then I pull from the sky, from the stars, and I bring that energy down from above towards the Pachamama, and then I tuck that into that little place. So when it's, basically like I've already got it as a square, I'm gonna take this, oop, like did it one little fold, second little fold, and then if I want, depending on who I want first, boop, and then they repeat over here, boop, and then pull that down and tuck it in there, and then that makes like a little bundle with a pocket. So then you have like a place to put extra stuff if you're somebody that has like, a bottle to carry with you or something that you may not want packed all the way away, but don't want to carry around. And if you're like me and like OCD and weird, it can take you a few times sometimes to get it to where you want it to be. Sometimes you fold it and it's perfect on the first try. Sometimes it takes forever. And you feed your stones too. So like if we're working with our stones, You can feed them with Florida water. You can feed them with oil. You can feed them with whatever, or you can cleanse them with smoke from like Palo Santo or whatever you got. People usually feed them with like an essence or an oil or whatever, but you want to treat them like they're living beings, you know. Take care of it. Like this is an energetic representation of you. So there was a time where I was like dying, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I haven't touched my Mesa in like 6 months. Maybe that's part of why my energetic body is like killing me, because it becomes an extension of you. It becomes a responsibility for your, you know, to take care of. It's like your bundle. It's like your medicine. It's your altar, but it's portable. So when you tuck it, you got your little pocket. And it's good for whatever you want to put in there. I could put my rattle in there. I could put crystal in there. I could put whatever I want in there. Then they have the traditional. Most people, when they have one of these, they use like the string that I have right there. It's like this size usually people will use, where they cross it to close up. It's probably longer than, like, this is the one that belongs inside of it for me. But this is like the thickness of the normal ones that most people have. And they will put like a bell on it, because the bell gets rid of the evil energy. The bell gets rid of lower vibrations. Sound is big. If you have anything that makes sound, that will help to change the energy. Even clapping your hands. Alright. So then I put this. Now for me, I have the belt that I use. The person that I knew that had given me the manual for the Mune key, and the one that like gave me my Shikana, which is like the portal, connects with our throat chakra. It's like connects with the directions. It has a bunch of meanings. It's the north, east, south, west, the different archetypes. The center is seen as a portal, or the Shikana. He also gave me this and that little bag that's in there that I put the shell in. These came from Peru. This is a belt. So I use it because it matches my Mesa. But traditionally, they use it like this. So there's a hole here. They put this in here, like this little string. And then over here is another spot for it to go through. So this is their belt. I've used this in my healing sessions too. So sometimes, like there was a time that I was working on a woman, and I was intuitively guided to make an infinity symbol on her belly with the rope. And then the woman that was there with me came walking over, and she was a healer. She was like, "Oh my God!" It's 11:11. She walked over, and she's like, she had her book with her that she had drew in the day before, because she was learning about womb healing at that time. And in the book that she had was a healing process where you make the infinity symbol on a woman to help with the healing of the womb. So it was like I was doing in the physical real world what she was learning at that time. And she was like, "Oh my God." And she showed me the picture, and I was like, wow. So that was pretty cool. I've also used it as a serpent, like pulling to help release the past, shed the skin like the serpent sheds the skin. I'll use this as like the head of the serpent, and this is the body. I can coil it on a person for that, and then at the end, shake it off. I've done like the pulling down people with it. I use the cloth too for that purpose. Like you can put your items somewhere and then use the cloth, like lay it on them. Some people call them like the magic carpet, you use it as like the magic carpet. You can stand on it and like let the energy come up from beneath you. Then like place it on somebody. and then see yourself like pulling, with the cloth, pulling the energy off of them that needs to come off of them, getting it away. What I've noticed with shaman stuff, like that work, there's a lot of flow, like there's movement that happens, there's sound, that you get into like a dance, like a trance dance, as you're healing people. So the more that you let go and just move, the better it is. But that's what this is. And it is kind of big, but it works. So I crisscross, and then when I get to this side, I wrap like an X. X marks the spot. And then I will usually continue to wrap it like a pretty little design, just to keep it nice, depending on how it comes out, because sometimes it comes out totally different than the last time. You never know what you're gonna get. But so then I pack it up, and then I usually put it in one of my bowls, my singing bowls, because it keeps it safe. Some people keep them set up. Some people close them up in a different process, but that's the way I learned, so that's the way that I do it. So you get this little bundle with your pocket afterwards. But yeah, that's how we do that. And that every Wednesday night, the thing I did at the beginning of this thing, you could do that, or you could do whatever you want. Take away whatever you like. Let me see what we got here. I just joined your Telegram. On YouTube, it's called the Live Together. Okay, and I just sent you a link for YouTube Live Together if you want to do a 2-minute test after you finish this to Messenger. Where did you send it? On this? Do do do. I don't know. I don't see. But yeah. If I will check when I click off of here, but I am gonna go now because I've been on for a while and we've been, just chit-chatting. But anybody who just came in, you guys are welcome to go back to the beginning. It will be published in a few moments, and you can see the process that we did and connect to that energy. And it's okay to do it daily or weekly or whatever you like. Make it your own. And thank you guys very much. I hope you have a good night or day or wherever you are. In Monet, namaste.